Hi and welcome to all the viewers around the globe joining us for this pre-recorded show for the meeting on Thursday the 22nd of August. We are recording early doors on Wednesdays, so take note of any additional scratchings, jockey changes and major betting changes. But let's get straight into the action. Race number 1, that'll be the opening leg of the bar pot. And looking at race number 1, we have a hot pot favourite at around 3 to 10. His name is Industrial Strength, number 2. He is a 4-year-old son of Gimme the Green Light from the Dean Kenilworth stable. And you'll note that 7 and 8 are early scratchings in red there. So take out 7 and 8, which leaves us with 8 runners. Getting back to Industrial Strength, 103 days off the track. He was intended to run a few weeks back. He was scratched on that occasion, but nothing serious. It was, I think, TCO2 levels were elevated. So he's going to come here in fine fettle. And if you look at that debut run, nothing less than breathtaking. He came from a hopeless position, almost 12 lengths back, to be beaten into second behind the Specialist. And we all know the Specialist has come out to place in Group 1 company. Burning Man has come through to win. The form line is looking very, very decent. The 1200 meters is a little bit of a concern, but looking at the opposition he's taking on, he should be too good for this field. Very short to back at those type of odds, but Dean Kenilworth from a 2 draw. He's a horse who really picked him up smartly in the closing stages, and I'd go as far as to say even the 1200 should not be enough to stop him. He's a horse looking for a mile plus, but the 1200 meters on the turf, he should be able to get away with it. And number 2, Industrial Strength. The form lines are very, very strong, and he should be able to dispose of this field. If you're looking for dangers, then number 6, One Arm Bandit, and number 9, Hoodwinked. They'll be the 2 runners that do jump off the page. However, number 2, Industrial Strength, by all intensive purposes, looks to be the banker on the card when it comes to the bar pot, and a number of the players will be taking the short prices in their doubles and trebles to come at around 3 to 10. Hopefully he brings his A game to the race course and he'll end up in the winner's enclosure. Next up is race number 2, which will be run over 1,000 meters. 12:55 is the carded off time. And race number 2 will be the opening leg of the place accumulator. And at this point in time, there are 7 runners carded to go down to the start. Just giving you a breakdown of the betting. Number 5, Love in Winter, is 22 to 10. Number 4, Mask On, at 28 to 10. And then we've got number 3, Rhythm, at 33 to 10. So the top 3 in the betting, not much to separate them. And of course, number 4, Mask On. He ran a few days ago, went second to One Too Many. That was 11 days ago. Course and distance victory, 2 wins over the distance. So there's a lot to like about number 4, Mask On, who is your current favorite. The Chase Morgine and Louis Gerson outfit, they've been hitting the winning tune of late, and he has to be a big runner, number 4, Mask On, and he will be my outright selection. When it comes to second and third placings, it's going to be difficult to decipher between numbers 3 and 5. Number 3, Rhythm. He has a horse who has not won in just over 290 days, and this is a horse who's got ability. He's run some fair races, but he is sparingly raced. He's got a course and distance victory to his name, and I think he's going to run a big race in this type of company. Now, when it comes to number 5, Love in Winter, he was chalked up a 92 earlier on in his career. I think he's a horse who reeled off 4 straight successive victories, and they thought a horse going to go on to bigger and better things. Unfortunately, things went pear-shaped for him in the Cape, and he moved to KwaZulu-Natal. He joined the Alison Wright and Kevin Wright team. He's been a model of consistency, but he's yet to get into that winner's box. So he's yet to break the ice here locally in KwaZulu-Natal. He runs off a good rating of 69, and he gets the 1.5 kilograms off for Rachel Venica. 3 of his 4 wins have come over the distance, and all 4 wins have come on the turf. I will reiterate, which I have reiterated in the last couple of runs, he's a horse who used to go down a little bit short, a little bit choppy, so they've obviously had to iron out a few issues with him. But his last few runs, he's gone down a bit better, and you would have seen an improvement. Second behind Ndaka, and then second behind One Too Many. The day number 5, Love and Winter, finds his A game, and this could be the occasion. He'll absolutely blow the field away, but there is a little bit of hesitation to have a strong bet on number 5, Love and Winter. But watch him go down to the start, and with Rachel Vinegar taking that valuable 1.5 kilograms off the back, could see to big advantage here, number 5, Love and Winter. So in race number 2, I'm going to go number 4, Mask On. He's tried and tested, he's got the form to win a race of this nature, and then between numbers 3 and 5, those will be the horses for the exactas and the trifectas, and after that, number 1, Daring Act, might be worth a second glance in race number 2 at decent odds. So race number 2 over 1,000 meters, 4, and then 3 and 5, difficult to split these two individuals. Stepping into race number 3, which will be at 13:30. The distance will be 1,600 meters, so they are stepping on the gas distance-wise. And at this early stage of recording, number 1, Carnival Park, and number 9, Mvalelo. These are going to be my top 2 selections. And now you're going to be the judge which horse you are going to go for. Number 1, Carnival Park. His resume reads 2 runs. Yet to place, although he ran a much improved second effort over the 1400. His debut was on the 17th of July when they gave him a pipe opener over at 1200 meters. They then stepped him over 1400 and he was staying on readily at the finish. He was drawn 9 out of 10 on that occasion, and he made some late progress when 5th, 3.5 lengths behind Night Rocker. He now gets the 1 draw, the son of Socrat, and he's surely going to bounce with more improvement. On the other hand, number 9, Mvalelo, the 4-year-old What a Winter. He is a year older. He's got the form to recommend. I mean, he's been 3rd to You're My Sunshine, 2nd to Brotherhood of Magic, 2nd to Fushimi Inari, and then 2nd to Turkonnell last time out. His last run was back from quite a break, so it will be the second run after rest syndrome. So for those who believe in the second run after rest syndrome, you'll be going with number 1, Carnival Park. However, number 9, Mvalelo, he's got the form to win this race. He is drawn out a little bit deep, but number 6, Got the Word, is an early scratching, so he will come in 1 barrier. The 1,600 meter trip, no problem for this individual. He's been up to 1,800 before. And just keep a close eye if the cheek pieces stay on or they come off. At this point in time in the book, they have come off. So we'll see the additional changes on the morning of race day. Barring number 9, Mvalelo, looking at the balance of the field, not too much to get excited about. Number 2, Ant Dynasty, 71 days off the track. He'll be looking to improve. And after that, a horse like number 3, Freddie Slater, trying the mile, could come to life. But race number 3, I believe, is between number 1, Carnival Park. From the best of the draw, he might just have the edge. But number 9, Mvalelo, despite returning from a 207-day absence, he's had an interrupted racing career. He's got the form, and he's run second in 2 of his last 3 outings, and he'll prove the main danger to number 1, Carnival Park. But if you had to put me in a corner, I'll go number 1, Carnival Park, to beat number 9, Mvalelo, and after that, number 2, Ant Dynasty. Kicking into race number 4, 14:05 is the carded off time when the starter should say go. The distance is 1,600 meters. Well, I think number 1, Landseer, looks to be a popular selection for a number of players out there and a number of analysts. And why not? This son of Lancaster Bomber, he came to the course with a bit of a reputation. They said he'll probably need his first 2 runs over the 1200. He ran 3.5 lengths behind the Specialist, and as we mentioned in a prior race, the Specialist has come through and placed in graded company. He then improved to run 4th just over a half a length behind Bugger Lugs. He then ran fourth again when they tried him over the mile, and his last run was his career best, second behind Captain Marsala. He looked a winner on that occasion, and Captain Marsala managed to oust him. Serena Mudley's ridden him in all four of his runs to date. He comes back to Hollywoodbets Greyville on the turf, and from that number one draw, I believe he could be one of the better bets on the card. So I'm quite strong on number one, Lancia. The penultimate run, there's been a few winners from there, so that form line's worked out well, and of course his debut run behind the specialist. But more importantly, the average rating was a 72 that he took on last time out, and that number one draw, Serena Mudley will have him in the box seat waiting to strike, and this is a potential banker. When it comes down to dangers, number 6, Always Shining, the 3-year-old son of Pomodoro from the Dennis Bosch stable. Here's another horse who comes with some decent form, a third to Henry Harvey in his penultimate run, and then second to General Bing last time out. He's a horse who can be a little bit restless. He lost 2 lengths last time out, a little bit unlucky on that occasion. 3 runs back, restless. Prior to that, led, tried, mouth hurt, slow out. So he comes with a book of excuses. But the day that number 6, Always Shining, everything goes in his favor, is the day he's going to win. So number 1, Lancia, a confident selection in race number 4. And then we have number 6, Always Shining, along with the likes of number 2, Magna Magic, who's also run second and third in his recent runs. And a set of blinkers might even help the chance of number 2, Magna Magic. 1,600 meters shouldn't be of any concern. He did go over 1,800 meters earlier on when lacking a little bit on that occasion, but he would have matured and strengthened, and he'll be my third selection. But we're going to go with number 1, Lancia, from the Nell stable, Byron Foster and the team, and I believe this is the horse that is going to end up in the winner's enclosure. As we move along to race number 5, www.galloptv.co.za. It's a maiden plate, and they'll be racing over the extended trip, 2,300 meters. So a test of stamina for these up-and-coming horses, if there is anything up-and-coming. As we have a look at the current betting, they are betting 4-1 the field. Number 11, Rainbow of Roses. This is your current favorite. She is a filly taking on the boys from the Nathan Kotson team. She's trading at 4-1. Number 7, Fire Force at 9-2. And then we have number 5, Intuitive Spirit at around 6-1. Also with number 4, Castle May. Race number 5, I'm afraid I'm not going to be of too much help to you because there's not much to work with here. If we go through the field, let's start off with the current favorite, who is number 11, Rainbow of Roses. She's that type of horse who could win or who could run unplaced. She's in and out. She's had a few excuses on a number of occasions. But in this event, from that 11 draw, 56.5 kilograms on her back, Samanga Kamalo might get the best tune out of her. Just looking at the last 9 or 10 runs, he hasn't partnered her, so he'll be jumping onto Rainbow of Roses for the Nathan Kotson team. What I can say is there's no problem with the distance. She's going to come here fit and well. She did run second to the boys behind Only a Poet. That was over 2,400 meters, when a very close second. So this is the type of horse who could certainly get into the winner's enclosure. Barring number 11, Rainbow of Roses, number 9, Racing Boys had the 2 runs to date. Certainly bred to go every inch of the 2,300 meter trip. That's a horse who could show marked improvement. And then when we're looking at the balance of the field, number 2, Walkie Talkie, another one of the fillies, made some late progress last time out. And a set of blinkers could improve and did run on from last at the 400, when back in 12th position to be into 7th position, just under 6 lengths behind Facile. Number 4, Castle May, is a horse that I would throw into the trifectas and quartets. And number 1, Lightning Fork, another runner that should appreciate stepping up in distance. But like I say, I can't be of much help in race number 5. All I can say is horses 9 and 10, Racing Boy and Gift of Royal. They could be the 2 big improvers. But the form horse at this stage is number 11, Rainbow of Roses, and she'll certainly have plenty of supporters. Right, back for race number 6, which is over 2,000 meters, and I'm afraid it doesn't get much easier. When you look at race number 6, it's a lower division handicap. It is a 68 handicap over 2,000 meters. Let's kick off with number 1, National Dream from the Alison Wright camp with Rachel Veneker aboard. Draw a line through that last effort, was examined by the vet. They could find nothing obvious detected. This is a horse who absolutely blew them away earlier on. Reeled off a hat-trick of victories, an impressive style, and off the current rating could still prove very, very effective. Did run 39 days ago, and maybe something came out in the wash over that 1,600 meter trip when beaten 24 lengths behind Bomb Bomb. Drawn 1 with Rachel Veneker aboard. Although the better form has been on the poly, all 4 wins have been recorded on the poly. It's a horse that I would give a second glance to, number 1, National Dream. Then number 2, Mike's Mazarin. Now here's a runner who could be anything in the making. They debuted this son of Futura over 1,200 meters, which was going to be far too sharp, a nice pipe opener just to see the race course and get a feel of racing. The second run, 1,750 meters, once again Sean Veal stuck with the ride, and he came through with flying colours to beat Burning Man. And we've all seen Burning Man come through to frank the form line. The 2,000 meters, Sean Veal said the further they go, the better this horse is going to get. So number 2, Mike's Mazarin, is the big improver. Only had the 2 runs to date and shown that expected improvement from the first run to the second run over the distance. Inclined to say the 2,000 meter trip is going to be right up his alley. He comes to Hollywoodbets Greyville for the first time. I don't see any issues with that, and he might be a horse who's far better than his current rating, and in a 68 handicap he could set the trend. We're then going to move on to number 5, Basi Rakvat. Now this is the main danger, I believe. Last time out he ran 6, 1.35 lengths behind Tobacconist. He moved up very dangerously on that occasion and didn't really go through with the effort, but he did stay on. He's a one-time winner from 20 runs as a 4-year-old. So number 2, Mike's Mazarin, definitely has the greatest scope for improvement. But they did try him in the Vase in his penultimate run when he was hanging out. That form line has been well franked. He was beaten 7 lengths by Madison Valley. The run prior to that, second to Kimball O'Hara. He's a horse who's got the ability in this type of field to be highly competitive. Nicholas Patel for MJ Oudendal, and I'm certainly thinking that number 5, Basi Rakvat, who could be at a half decent price, could give number 2, Mike's Mazarin, something to think about if Mike's Mazarin's just needing that 1 more run still to come along. Number 6, Lucretius. Turf form doesn't inspire much confidence, but on form, never too far off the action, so needs to be included in the equation. And then when you look down the field, number 8, King Bavarian, another one who's far superior on the poly track, but on the turf, might be able to sneak into the quartets. So race number 6, you're going to be the judge, or are you going to go with the improving number 2, Mike's Mazarin from the Duncan Hells camp? And this is for the Hollywood Syndicate. Sean Veal rates him, and he could be the one to beat. However, I've got healthy respect for number 5, Basi Rakvat, and these are the 2 horses I think that'll see us through our exotics. Race number 7, 1550 will be the carded off time, and they'll do battle over the trip of 1,400 meters. Now, just taking a look at the betting, we saw Alec Laird come to the fore the other day and have a winner. So the stable's been there or thereabouts. So the stable's in form. and the current favourite at 5-2 joint, numbers 4 and 5, Pointer, and the filly Prom Queen. So the two fillies at the top of the boards there, as this is a fillies and mares 86 handicap, but it is the 3-year-olds who seem to be dominating at this stage of the game. Let's start off with number 4, Pointer, is 1-2 from 5, and both of those victories have been recorded on the turf. And let's see the rating, a 96, number 4, Pointer. Number 5, Prom Queen, is rated a 93, and that beat Disting in the second run, and then is run in 2 features after that. Of course, we've seen Quid Pro Quo absolutely scorch the turf tracks, come to life, and show that this is one of the top horses around. So the last run was only beaten 4.8 lengths behind, and then the Strelitzia was back in 5th, 5.6 lengths behind them. So the 3-year-olds, you have to give them healthy respect, and I'll definitely be throwing them into all of my play. Now, a horse like number 6, Simple, although being off the track for 119 days, is coming off a victory beating Funky Music in an 84 handicap last time out. If fit and well, we'll give them a run for their money, along with horses like number 3, Perilla, number 7, Stormy Choice, fresh off a victory, and Tini Prinsloo and Samanga Kamalo. They had a grey horse the other day come through to win, so maybe he has another grey for the offering. And then you're going to think I'm going absolutely bonkers here, because at 40-1, number 8, Reefway. Here's a horse I think that can pop up. On the earlier form behind Asia Pambile in the Poinsettia, ran 4.6 lengths behind, went from an 84 to a 98. This is the type of horse that is really off form, badly off form recently, been losing a lot of start at the gates, losing 3-4 lengths. So hopefully they've taken this one back to the gates at home, passed her through the starting stalls. And if you're going to get a rough result in race number 7, I think number 8, Reefway, at 40-1 the win and 7-1 the place. This is my type of horse to throw into your quartets. Bringing down the curtain at Hollywoodbets Greyville will be race number 8, the Hollywoodbets Bright Future 98 handicap, where they'll run over 1,800 meters. As we've mentioned, we are racing on the turf track, so watch out for those runners who really love the turf. In race number 8, the current betting suggests that it's a very tricky race. It's a 98 handicap with number 6, Bristol Hercules. Fresh off a victory, beating Golden Peace last time out, was 3rd to Spelling Bee and 2nd to Imposing. Went up 6 points for the latest win, and that was over 1,600 meters. Never been the 1,800 meters before, so let's see how Bristol Hercules settles into the stride, is your 9-2 favorite. Number 3, Royal Guide, is at 5-1 with number 8, Nat Yam, and the number 4, Last One Standing, at 6-1. Number 3, Royal Guard from the Alec Laird stable. Sean Veal jumps aboard this individual, and let's just have a look. Has been up to 1,700 and won over 1,700, so no issues with the distance. Only had the 9 runs as a 6-year-old, so started the career and has obviously had 1 or 2 little stop moments in the career, but nevertheless 9 runs, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds and a 4th to the credit. Well drawn, and there could be a lot to come from number 3, Royal Guide. Was beaten by Bristol Hercules 3.4 lengths last time out. Dropped a point by the handicapper, and prior to that was 2nd to Command Pilot in a 96 handicap. 3 runs back, the average rating was a 96 when he ran in a 105. So a horse that you have to give real healthy respect to, number 3, Royal Guard. He's not here for the scenery. He's had 2 runs at Scottsville out of his last 4 runs. So he obviously went back to Turfentine and Gauteng when he ran 4th and 2nd. He does have a victory at Hollywoodbets Scottsville when absolutely annihilating National Star. He went up from an 82 to a 90. He now races off an 88, so he should be given every chance. Number 7, Sundance Kid, a good second to Get Impressed last time out, so needs to be included. And then number 8, Natyam. He has a runner who often finds support, but last time the money was bullseye, spot on. From 10 and 12 to 1, they backed Natyam down to 3 to 1, and he just glided past the field. He was racing prominently, and he went on for a cozy victory. A horse who's got the ability. Turf-wise, he's had the 8 runs for the 2 wins and 3 runner-up berths. He is drawn out at Stillgate number 8. Scratched at the early time of recording is number 9, Grinkov. So number 8, Natyam, definitely worth a say. And a horse that I would throw into my quartets is number 10, Baratheon. Although it's going to be on the sharp side for him, I think the quicker they go, the better. Might be a nice lurker for the quartets with number 11, Etiquette, second to Willow's Wish last time out. But as the betting suggests, 9 to 2 the field, a very open affair. And looking at the field, a number of horses could win this race. I think include 5 or 6 when it comes down to the exotics as far as the pick 6 and those type of bets go. Putting me in a corner, very, very difficult to assess, but I think number 10, Baratheon, this could be one for the quartets at a big price. As we move on to the suggested bet for the day, they're going to bring up the slide and then we'll go through those suggested bets for the day there. So my suggested bet is the buy pot, and on this occasion 2 bankers. We're going to banker number 2 in the opening leg of the buy pot, followed by numbers 4 and 5, next leg 1 and 9. We'll then banker number 1. The penultimate leg, we're going to go with a trio of horses, 7, 9 and 11. So we're going to go with the odd numbers there, and then finishing off with numbers 2 and 5. So that's a look at my buy pot, which is my suggested bet for the day. You, the punter, and the viewer out there, best of luck, and hopefully you in the winners enclosure at the end of the meeting.